Hey everyone, it's Ryder from Skip. Hope you're all doing well. Good to see so many of you already tuned in. I'm really excited to see you and pick grant winners today. So we're going to pick we're going to pick two $5,000 grant winners. So welcome back to our monthly grants drawing, something we've been doing for 2 years, almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years this summer. And yeah, excited to have you. So would love to hear where you're all watching from today. And we're also going to not only pick two $5,000 winners, but talk about some new grant programs. There's two new grant programs I'm going to mention probably midway through. And we have Kayla joining us in a bit as well to talk about other funding options. So if you have EIDL questions, or other SBA questions or other funding questions, start to ask them in the comments because we have Kayla, who's one of our funding experts, to help answer some of those and beyond EIDL. I know many of you probably are still trying to get EIDL funding and time is running out. So I'll talk about that. But the good news is there's a lot of other programs. So you shout out to everyone chiming in Texas, South Carolina, Georgia, California. Faith, good to see you. Good to see so many familiar faces here. Yeah, chime in. And I'm currently in DC, so anyone in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area to shout out. I was in Florida and I was in Miami, beginning of the week, and I was in Texas last week, and I'll be in New York tomorrow. So yeah, visiting some of our team. And some of you have been visiting some business owners too. So great to meet some of you in person. Hey, from Mississippi, Arkansas, Chicago, good to see you all. Yeah. So again, chime in on questions. And remember, we do this the third Wednesday of every month where we donate our YouTube revenue back to subscribers of our channel. You have to enter. Here's the link to enter. We'll put that in the ticker below as well. Let's see here. You can see, you could. Most of you are probably entered, but you can always enter helloskip.com/1K because most months it's $1,000 grants. But this month only, the special for April 2022, we're going to do two larger grants, two $5,000 grants, and we're going to pick alternates today as well. And I wonder if anyone tuned in has won in the past. Would love to hear if you've been one of our past winners. I think probably we've picked 50 plus winners over the past almost 2 years. Okay, there's a quick news I want to point out. This was a big report this morning before we picked the first winner. So this was just from the Wall Street Journal. More COVID fraud, believe it or not. I mean, I think we're going to be seeing these stories every few weeks. But new fraud, this one, 150 million total. The Justice Department unveiled some of these charges. Here it is. Federal prosecutors have charged about 20 people in the past 2 weeks with allegedly engaging in various fraud schemes related to the COVID-19 pandemic. Let me enlarge this a little bit here. And so it's not just the SBA programs, but a lot of this is fake vaccine cards as well. Where is it? The page is loading here. Yeah, so people getting charged with fraud there. Man, great to see so many of you from all over the country. And a lot of more folks in Florida, California. So probably in 5 minutes, we'll start answering questions. Before we pick our 5K grants, I want to tell you about, so on a weekly basis, we find grants, find loans. We have a research team that looks these up across the country. I want to show you a few that we pointed out last week. We will leave the links to these in the description. So NAV, many of you know NAV. They do 5 and 10K grants as well. The link to this post to get the links is, I think, point number 3 or 4, or no, it's point number 5 in the description. For agricultural businesses, $250,000 grants. For women-owned businesses, this is a big one. I'm going to do an in-depth video tomorrow on this one. 10K grants for women-owned businesses. This is KKR and the Alice program. And so this one has a deadline of Friday. So I'm going to detail it tomorrow in a YouTube video. So thanks to everyone. I think most of you already tuned in, have been subscribers. But if you haven't, we cover grants and funding every single week. And a lot of these are programs that are lesser known. So thanks for subscribing and liking this video so other entrepreneurs and small business owners find out about these programs. There's also a 10K grants, plural, for LGBTQ owned businesses. This is from Visa. 250K grants for nonprofits. And a few more here. So the link to all these are in the description, and I'm going to do a deep dive on a couple of these tomorrow. And finally, there's the $55 billion package. This is a big deal. I did a video that was a hit last week. It's in the Senate right now. We don't know if it's going to pass. The House already passed it. It needs to get the votes in the Senate. This would be $42 billion more for restaurants, food-related industries, and $13 billion for other hard-hit businesses. So businesses that had a 40% revenue decline during the pandemic. And these would be grants, not loans. So this is a huge deal. Again, it's still in the Senate. The Senate has their own version that's a variation of this. But I'm watching it on a daily basis to see if anything happens there. Because if this passes and gets signed into law, these grants, it'll be critical to apply early for these grants. So I'll keep you posted there. And finally, before we pick the first winner, here's our EIDL countdown. 6 billion approximately left. You know, we check in with the SBA every couple weeks to recalibrate this. According to this, there's 3 or 4 days left. But we got an email from the SBA this morning. They sent this out to most EIDL applicants and borrowers saying, if you wanted an increase, you probably have until the end of April. So based on that email, they may say they'll be funding through next week. The bottom line is there's not much left here. So of course we can help you. You can use the link above, the helloskip.com/join, and choose the VIP option because we're fully booked with premium options. So choose VIP, it's risk-free. So thanks everyone for the questions. Let me pick a $5,000 grant winner first, our first $5,000 grant winner, and then we'll get to some questions. Okay, so here it is. Today's drawing, again, for this month, it's going to be 5K grants. We will email the winners. First winner, without further ado, here we go. Wait for it here. Mark J. Okay, Mark J, the first initial last name. If you have your old ticket numbers, the number is 191694. But if your name's Mark J, congrats. You may have won $5,000 from us. We had about 20,000 plus entries. And if you've entered this month, you're entered for next month, the May drawings, the June drawings, July, etc. So you're always entered. Congrats, Mark, for winning 5K. We will email you in the next day or two. And we hope you get the email. The way it works is we email you and then we get some information, and usually you get the one, whether it's 1K or 5K, you get the money within about a week, as opposed to some of these other programs, you may wait 3, 4, 5 months. Okay. Well, let's answer some questions before we pick the second winner. And Kayla, I'm going to bring you in here. Welcome, Kayla.
Hi, how is everyone doing today?
How's everyone doing?
I think they're doing good.
A busy turnout today.
Very.
Yeah. Well, Kayla, how's everything going on the funding side since you're heads down with I mean, mainly EIDL still. How's it been going there?
It's been going pretty good. Right now, we're seeing a huge increase actually in the amount of people that are getting those approvals. We're actually seeing the turnaround time for the loan officers as well as before. They were asking only, they were giving essentially clients the leeway of either 5 to 7 days to get paperwork back to them to get in on everything. And right now, we're actually seeing that turnaround time about 24 hours. So as we tell all of our clients, make sure you're on the lookout all the time for searching your email, sba.gov, just to see if they sent you anything, logging into your portal every single day, just because they are actually turning down people that don't get back to them in 24 hours. So that's a huge thing for everybody. So if you're in the process of a reconsideration or you've talked to a loan officer, make sure you are checking every single day, multiple times a day, on the weekends as well. We've seen a lot come in on the weekend. So
That's amazing. Yeah, within 24 hours, I didn't realize it had been that quick. Kayla, have you heard from some of your folks today that they got this email from the SBA about that there may be funding through the end of this month?
Yep, I've got a couple clients that have reached out and said, "Hey, are we okay?" And I like to tell them I've been able to sit with them and get their package together, get everything in order, make sure everything's filled out correctly, and getting that into them. I've also had previous clients start reaching out to say, "Hey, it's actually a lot closer than I thought it was. Can we go ahead and ask for that increase because I had previously gotten money and I'm entitled to more? Can we at least try to get that full amount?" So all of us here have been extremely busy with our clientele, making sure that we're getting all of those increased packages together as fast as possible. That way they can get it sent off.
Yeah. Yeah, huge. I mean, hopefully everyone in the comments can give a huge shout out to whether I see a lot of people sign up for VIP, and we've helped a lot of you get funded over the past few weeks because it's been incredibly busy. I mean, you guys have been working around the clock, but we realize it's crunch time. So, and I don't know if anyone has any EIDL questions, but Kayla, one of the things you're hearing a lot is the other SBA programs that people forget about but shouldn't. So be great if you could just share an overview of some of the other SBA programs that you've been helping people with.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've actually helped a large number of clients secure what are called 7A loans or micro loans, 504s. The SBA has a plethora of different type of other loan options outside of the EIDL. The micro loan right now is essentially the most popular. It's a $50,000 max. The process is very streamlined. There's only a few bits of paperwork that you have to do for this, but there's also a great deal of other information like profit and loss statements and a business plan, etc., which is all something that we help with. So I actually just recently had one of my clients get approved for a $5 million 504 loan, and we helped walk him through that process. But yes, the microloans are great. The average is around 13, as you can see, about 13,000, but the max loan is 50,000. And you definitely want to work with what they call a lending intermediary. These are nonprofit organizations, and they're preferred lenders by the SBA. They can make those decisions on behalf of the SBA, and sometimes. And so microloans are a great option. If you're looking for more money, then you might want to go for a 7A loan, which is going to be anywhere from up to $5 million, or you can get an SBA small loan only up to $350,000, or an SBA, or what they call an SBA Express, which is only up to $500,000. The turnaround time can be 1 to 2 months, but I always disclaimer that if you work with if you work with an SBA approved lender, which we have a huge list of, we can give you those options. The process can actually be cut in half.
Yeah, those are great. And we do have what I was sharing on the screen was a post we did. If you Google "Hello Skip" or Skip, microloans, you'll find our blog post. If you Google 7A Hello Skip, you'll find posts on that too, or you can just go to the link above and Kayla can explain more, or someone else. Yeah, and any other before we pick the next 5K winner? Oh, well, by the way, this is nice to see some of these shout outs here. So this is great. I wonder if anyone has anyone in the comments been helped directly by Kayla? You had a few fans last time you were on.
I did. And I see Ryan just posted that he just got his confirmation. So that's awesome. Yeah, you definitely want to check those emails, sba.gov, search that in your email. And you wouldn't imagine how many of my clients that are, actually found out because I told them to check. But I do see somebody had a question about, what are the requirements for a 7A loan. It's a little bit different back and forth between a micro and a 7A loan. Essentially, it is you have to be a for-profit business. You have to be a small business. You have to be involved in your business. You have to have put your own money into your business, as well as try to find other funding sources, show that you have that need for the loan, and then also let them know what you are going to use the funds for. And I think the most important, you cannot be delinquent on any federal loans or any kind of debt obligations to the U.S. government. And so those are the overall qualifications for both a 7A and a microloan. And then as you can see, Ryder has essentially what are those, no-goes when it comes to what businesses can be funded and what can. So essentially, no gambling, can't be on parole. And no religious organizations like churches and nonprofits. But on the plus side, for all you, I know we have a lot of people that have nonprofits. On the plus side of it, there is actually specific nonprofit micro loans. So there's still loan options out there for nonprofits. So don't get my hopes up yet.
And we'll add these. That's great. And there's a lot here, including all the forms. So, you can read these. We try to simplify it here, but if you want someone to talk through this with, just let us know. And yeah, like I said, you can Google these and find these posts. That's all I did just now. I just Googled Skip and 7A or microloans. So let's pick another $5,000 winner. I know there's a lot of great questions here, but since we're here to give out grants, we'll do that. So let's just hang on there while we go back to our drawing picker here. So here we go. The second $5,000 grant winner for today. And the reason we did 2 5K grant winners is because last month we made 10K on YouTube here. So we said, let's give it all back. Rosette, you're the second winner today. Number 169662, if you have your ticket number. But either way, if you're a Rosette, look for an email from us in the next couple of days. And hopefully we hear back from you. We're going to pick 2 alternates here, so stay tuned, because nearly every time someone doesn't answer their email and we're trying to give them the grant, or they don't think it's real. So we always pick alternates. So we'll pick alternates in a minute. But let's answer some questions here. Are there any questions that have come in here? Here's one from Jessica. Does the microloan help with startups? Yeah.
They do. Actually, the microloan is actually one of the only SBA programs that does funding for a startup. So if you want to expand your business, or you have an idea and you're wanting to start that, a microloan is a great option. You will need, again, business plan. You'll need to get together. You'll need to have all of your ducks in a row, essentially, when you go to them, which is something that we help with. I don't know how many business plans we've done as a collaborative. But yes, absolutely. The microloan does help with startups or even expanding your business.
Great question. Probably a lot of other folks are in the same boat. Here's a question from Rochelle. Skip, I was denied because the SBA said I didn't have that credit score. I found out from Experian they never pulled my credit and my score is above 600.
So sorry about that. So actually you can reach out to them and request for them. That might actually be what's hindering about your about getting the funds that you deserve. You need to reach out to them, let them know that, hey, I want to give you permission to run my credit. And we actually have a credit authorization form that we can walk through with you, that you'll send it to and who you'll send it to. That way they can go ahead and pull that credit, because that might be essentially like the stopping point. But if the credit is not where you want it to be, we have options for that as well. But yeah, 100%, you need to contact the SBA and let them know that, hey, I need them to rerun my credit so it appears, and you sign a credit authorization.
Great question. Let's see, any others? How do we reach Kayla? It's, how can they reach you, Kayla?
Hello, Skip. Obviously, join either premium or VIP. I am one of the concierges here. Obviously, I'm on here a lot. I love seeing everybody. But yeah, you can just reach out either to our memberships team or talk to one of our onboarding specialists, and just let them know, hey, I want to talk to so-and-so, and I'll be happy to help.
And thanks to everyone. And by the way, it's for everyone who's giving shout outs that you've joined or etc. You can always email us too if you have questions, hello@helloskip.com, because it is crunch time. So everyone's working hard around the clock to stay active here. Yeah, you can email us there. But better to use the link above.
Yes.
Before you email, because we're inundated at the moment. Any other questions we want to talk about here before we pick two $5,000 grant alternates? And like I said at the top of the hour as well, the fifth link in the description, so all these links are in the description, but the fifth one talks about some of the new grant programs, the 10K grant program that is due by Friday. And in tomorrow's video, I'm going to talk about that in detail for women-owned businesses. And then another grant program I'll talk about. Life as Sarah's daughter. Okay, is the username here. So Skip, I was denied because the SBA said they could not verify my business. I requested a review, but haven't heard anything back from them in months.
Oh, goodness. So sorry that you're going through that. So actually, when they say they can't verify your business, it's actually a pretty easy fix. So one, you can reach out to us and we'll give you a list of everything we need to put together. But essentially what they're looking for is you essentially need to prove yourself that you're a legitimate business. So this can include like your ID, your taxes, any insurances you carry, any type of insurance, or the other word is gone from my mind at this minute. But also bank statements are a great way to do that. And then you'll want to send that to the disaster customer service email address they have. Or you can just simply send them a message to say, hey, I need an update. I put this information in. I want to get this process. And they're pulling all of that information in and updating your case. So that's going to be the next step in that. ID, front and back, in color. Anything that shows that you have a viable business, even articles of organization, if you're a sole proprietor, if you have insurance for your business, that can work as well.
One more question here from Mecca before we pick two more alternates. From Mecca Flores, if our application is processing, do you think that we will still get funded before funds run out?
That one's kind of hard to say. We don't know. The program was honestly, the program was never designed, unfortunately, to fund everybody, as much as I wish it was, right? It was never that way. But right now, your best bet is to make sure you have everything into the SBA, have everything in order, check with us if you're not sure. And then we can go through your paperwork to make sure it's in there and it's getting processed. But if the funds run out, essentially there's no more EIDL. We have those other programs that I was talking about previously, about the microloans and 7A, et cetera, that are very comparable to where the EIDL is right now, as far as interest rate is concerned. So, it's up in the air. We don't know. So we're just going to have to make sure everything's in there and ready to go, and that you're checking every 24 hours for everything. And that's all we can do right now.
Yeah. Well said. I'm going to pick two more $5,000 grant winners, but just want to say, for everyone, by the way, it's been great to meet so many of you, and so many of you say hello, and many of you are following us on socials now. So here they are. You feel free to follow us there. For example, later today, we're going to post the business owner I met in Miami who's got a great business helping businesses rebuild their credit. And Kayla, you've helped so many people who've been below that 600 score.
Yep.
Point them in the right direction. Well, we'll post that on LinkedIn later. Have some new posts on Instagram and our socials. So yeah, you know that they're all there. They are.
Yep.
Okay. Let's pick two alternates. So $5,000 grants. If those first two winners don't answer their email, the odds are good that at least one will not get back to us. So we're going to pick one more $5,000 winner. Thanks everyone for entering as well, and everyone's support over the past couple of years. Many of you have been watching us for 2 years. Chandra, hope I'm pronouncing correctly. Number 205939, Chandra, congrats on winning. Oh, we also verify the winners too. That there was nothing out of sorts like in the application. So that's another reason why we pick alternates. So you're the first alternate. Stay on deck. We've got you down, and we may email you to let you know that you're on deck. And should we pick one or two more alternates? Because chime in. I mean, most of you will say two, but two more alternates. Okay, we'll pick two more in case those first two do not answer their email. And here we go. The second alternate for $5,000 grants. Linnell, congrats, Linnell. 177180. So maybe you're on deck there. And the last winner for today. Then we'll answer a few more questions before we end. The third alternate, Joshua, number 182279. So congrats to our two main winners and the three alternates. We're going to email you. Would love to hear in the comments, in the last month. So in December, we picked about 15 winners. This was the first month of the new format. Then we picked 10 winners in January, 5 in February, 5 in March. This is the first time where we've done $5,000 grants. Would love to know. You can chime in if you want, if you prefer a higher chance of winning a $1,000 grant or a lower chance of winning a $5,000 grant. So chime in if you want to enter for next month's. It's the link below, helloskip.com/1K. And I think there's a few more questions we have time to answer. While I have the EIDL funding countdown clock on. So any more pressing questions on funding that people have? Okay, here's one from Christy. SBA said our EIDL increase application is with a loan officer and they have all the documents. Is it true that money will be allotted for us since our application made it this far, even if the funds run out?
So here's a tricky question on that one. So if you have your app in and it's with a loan officer, unless it is approved and you have signed loan documents, it is not deducted from what is left, right? So if you have signed your loan documents, you got an approval letter, your money is essentially put into like an escrow until it's dispersed to you in that 5 to 10 business days that they talk about. That is the only way it's guaranteed. You have to have signed those loan documents first. And then if the very next day they come and say, oh, all the funds are out, what we have heard is that you are included in that because you have signed your loan documents.
That's a great point. And let me just pull up, because we said we'd keep it to 30 minutes today, but really appreciate everyone who's joined. Some of you asked about other funding outside of the SBA. We'll help you all day with funding options, but also how to grow your business, market your business. We have a business listings, whether you're a solopreneur, one person, 10 people, 100 people. I think just in the past day, I checked earlier today, we've helped people get $10,000 loans, and some people get the full $2 million and everything in between. So we'll we'll help as best we can. But huge thank you to Kayla for joining and providing your insight.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
yeah, and great to see so many of you. Can't wait to see you in the next live. We'll do one before uh, the next drawing. So great to see so many of you. Hope you have a great rest of April and great rest of the week. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.